SaaS explainer videos are exploding right now, and they've quietly become the industry standard for premium tech brands. Companies are paying anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 for just 1 minute of animations. And you can get high-ticket clients if you have this skill. So that's why I will create this 30 seconds industry standard SaaS explainer in this series.
Introducing ClickUp Super Agents, the world's first AI agent that natively collaborate with humans and always have the correct context and perfect memory. You lead, your super agents go to work, completing tasks, scheduling work, creating design, and even running entire workflows. And starting today, any human can create AI agent. It's a total leap forward in productivity. Maximize productivity with your first super agent today.
If you want to follow along with this tutorial, you will find a link in the description of all the material that I'm using in this series. This is the part 1 of the series, and we will create the first frame of this animation in this video. So let's get started. First of all, just create this new composition of 1920 by 1080 and call it a main comp. After this, drop this audio file from the given folder. Just create this new composition of 1920 by 1080. Now drop the video file of this boy from the given folder. After this, double click on your media file and it will take you next to its original composition. Need to track this video. Now select your video and just click on this button over here, track motion. It will create this new tracking point. So now you have to scale down this tracker point so that it fits between these eyebrows. You can just follow me. After finalizing this tracking point, you have to click on this analyze button. This will track your whole footage. It's a hard part. Maybe you'll be needed to do it multiple times. I also went through this. After finalizing this, make sure you check by playing your footage that this track point is following this head properly. If it's not, redo it. This is very important. If you mess it up, that's not gonna work. After this, create a new null and give it a name mask controller. Now click on edit target and select a mask controller here, press OK. After this, click on this apply and select X and Y and press OK. Import the mask from the given folder and scale it down to maybe 22.5% and place this mask over onto these eyes. Now select this big whip tool and just parent this mask to the controller that we just created. And now if you play this video, this mask will move according to the head of this boy. Now go to the effects panel and search for the key light 1.2. Apply this to your video layer. Select this color picker tool and just select this background, green background. Now go to the screen matte and increase the clip black to 15%. And now select this boy and create a mask around this boy like so. Now turn all these layers to 3D and just hide this mask controller for now. After this, create a new white solid and place this layer beneath all of these layers and give it a scale of maybe 3000. After this, turn this solid into 3D and just duplicate this one and hide this layer for now. Now right click on this solid, select a radial ramp over here and give it an orange color. Now scale down this white solid to 100% and just move this orange ramp over here and just white ramp upward. Now give the solid a scale of 3000 and just move this orange ramp at the end of this shirt and white ramp on his head. Now go to the effects panel and search for the grain and apply it to your solid layer and give it an intensity of 2% and select a final output in the viewing mode. Now take this pen tool and create a shape layer like this and give it a stroke of 1.5 and turn its fill off. and also make this layer 3D. Now create another shape layer like so and also turn it into 3D. Now create a text and write a super and turn this text layer into 3D. And reposition this text layer like this I'm doing it on the screen. Now come up over here and select a pop-in font, and if you don't have this font you can just download it from the Google, it's totally free, and just select a semi-bold over here. Now scale it bigger and reposition it like this. Now just duplicate this text layer and move it down a little bit and write agent. Now reposition this text layer and turn its opacity down to maybe 70%. Now select the super text layer and just duplicate it and move this layer upon all of these layers. And now you can change this color of this text layer to maybe gray, and you can even just copy this code to find the exact color that I'm using over here. Now just switch to medium version of this text. And after this maybe you can just turn this scale down to maybe 12%. And just reposition this text layer over to the left of this boy like so, and write a text delegate. Now after this you can select this and increase the height of this like I'm doing it so, and just switch back to maybe 8% scale and reposition this text like this. Now select this text layer and duplicate it and write any task in the duplicated one. And now you can just give it a regular size here in the font section. And after this, what you can do, you can just select both of them and scale them a little bit down and just reposition them. Now change the color of maybe to light gray like so. You can just copy this code and go to this layer and just put this code here maybe. So after this you can just duplicate this any task layer and just move it over here, maybe upward a little bit. Now write superpowers here and move this text layer a little bit up. Now duplicate this text layer and write 500 plus tools and write context this layer, and just reposition it over here and switch its version to light mode and scale it down to maybe 5%. After this, reposition it over here on this shape layer, the stroke we've created, scale it a little bit more down. And after this, you have to give it a stroke of maybe 0.1%. Now just duplicate this text layer and just reposition it over here and write memory here. Stretch this text layer a little bit. Now what you can do, you can just duplicate this layer again and write works. And now just duplicate this text layer again and reposition it over left to this boy, like so, and write infinite knowledge. Now duplicate this text layer again and write it 24/7, works 24/7. Now reposition it right next to this the text layer. And now what you can do, you can just search for the drop shadow in the text in the effects panel and just apply it on your mask or this glasses. Just follow these settings here, give it a opacity of maybe 85-86 and softness of maybe 80%, 17 on the distance, 99 softness, so it looks good. Create a new camera. Make sure you create 2-node camera and create a new null and turn this null to 3D and just parent this camera to this null. After this you can rename this null camera controller. And now you can press the P on the keyboard to pop up this position and just give it a keyframe. Move this keyframe further in the timeline and now just zoom in like so. And zoom all the way to the until you get these glasses on the whole screen. Now you have to center these glasses like I'm. Now after this you select this first keyframe and press F9. Select this keyframe and give 75% in this plugin. This motion tool plugin is free, you can just download it from the internet. And after doing this, if you play this, this animation will look like this. It's looking cool. Now what you can do, you can create a light here. Make sure you create the ambient one and press OK. After this you have to keyframe this intensity like so. You have to give a keyframe and move this keyframe further in the timeline and stop it here maybe, and give it a 0 keyframe. And move these keyframes further in the timeline and just follow me like I'm doing here. Now if you play this, let me just put this thing over here. This is the main composition and we have this ClickUp audio going on beneath this layer. So from here we have to start this 0 keyframe of this light. So now if we play this, it's look like this. Now what you can do, you can create another shape layer on your mask. Just track your mask like I'm doing here to create a stroke for this mask. And make sure you don't turn this layer into 3D. We will just work in 2D with this layer. Actually, I didn't record this glasses part. I'm doing it after finishing my project. So if you see some additional layers in the timeline, so don't worry about them right now. So after this, you can click on the add and give it a trim path and open this property and give 40% or 45% maybe here, and readjust this offset value to position this layer like this. And after this, close this trim path and go to the stroke, and here in the stroke open the taper section. So this is the taper section. You have to open it and give start and 40% and end length 40% value. Now we have this thing. Now we have to close this one, and I will go in the effects panel and search for the deep glow 2. So I have this thing over here. I will just apply this and give a 50 in the radius and maybe 1 or 0.8 in the exposure. So after this we will have this kind of thing. Now after this you have to disable your light to turn on, to make visible all these things, and create another shape layer like this to give it a stroke in the left eye of this mask. After getting done with this, give it a stroke of maybe 2% and turn this light intensity back to 0 so that you can see this. Now repeat the same process. Go to the trim paths, give it a trim path and maybe 55% and readjust this offset value so that it reposition this stroke over here. And now you can apply the same effect of the deep glow. You can even just copy this effect from the upper layer. After this you have to repeat the same process to create the remaining eye of this mask, just like so. And after creating both eyes, what you can do, you can just duplicate this eye and just open this shape layer and go to the trim path and readjust its offset value so that it reposition this stroke over here. Now what you can do, you can just give it a color of maybe red and decrease its opacity to maybe 40% or 20%. Yeah, just repeat the same process with this eye also. Just duplicate this one, open this trim path section, readjust the offset value, and change the color of it maybe to the purple. Readjust its offset so that it reposition this stroke over there. After this you can turn its opacity down to 20%. Now we have this mask over here. You can create a new null and call it a mask controller or anything like that, and just select all of these layers, these orange layers in 2D, and just parent them to this mask like so. Now what we have, this mask controller, you can give a keyframe in the position here and also in the scale. Now we have to come over here and press U on the keyboard and go to the next frame, from the 0 keyframe to the next frame, and give a 45 maybe or 50% intensity so that you can see the background elements. And now you have to reposition this mask controller, scale it down and just readjust according to the mask behind this, the actual mask. And what you have to do, you have to go frame by frame and just readjust the scale and the position of this controller so that we go like this. It will take time, but it will be good after doing all of this. So after this you have to select all of these orange layers of your mask and press T on the keyboard. This will pop up the opacity, and now give the keyframes here on the opacity. Just move these keyframes back a little bit. Now give a 0 keyframe to all of these. Now if you play this animation, it will look like this. Okay, this is just fading out this mask when this light is appearing or everything appearing, mask is fading out. These mask strokes are fading out. Okay, so we have this thing. Now we have to give animation or readjust the timing of this animation of these text. So for this, what you can do, you can just add a property in the delegate text layer of this scale and maybe give it a value of maybe 0% over here and create a keyframe, go to the further in the timeline and create maybe 40, give it a 40 value, and just go again here and just copy and paste this one. Now what you can do, you can just play and check it, and you have to shorten the distance between these keyframes. Just select all of these. While pressing the Alt, you can readjust the distance between these keyframes. So it's looking good. After this, select these keyframes and put them over here, maybe on the 2 seconds on the timeline, or yes. After this, open this transform section and give this opacity keyframes from 0 to 100% like so. Or you can just readjust them. This is your totally own preference. Now search for the Gaussian blur over here and apply this to your text layer and give this Gaussian blur a keyframes and give it a value of 0 to from 17 maybe to 0%. When the text will appear, it will be blur, and after a while it will get better, like so. You can just readjust the blur section to adjust the timing. Just duplicate this text again, delete the beneath one, and just rewrite any task over here. So by doing this, we won't have to do the animation again. Now you can readjust this position of this layer in the timeline so that you can fix the timing of it. And now give value of 87 in the offset also to just animate this text. What you can do now, you can just select both these layers and just give them a keyframe on opacity from 0 to 100% so that it appears just like this. So now you have to select this text layer and delete this one. Now select this delegate layer, duplicate it and reposition it over here. Now it already have all these animations in it. So what I will do, I will just write works here and I will just scale it down a little bit and reposition it like this. And now you can press U on the keyboard. This will pop up all the keyframes in the layer, and now you can just readjust it like this to adjust the timing of the animation. Now you can duplicate this one, reposition it over here, and now you can write 24/7 over here, and now you can just delete this previous layer and move it over here like this. Now what you can do, you can just delete this infinite knowledge layer and just duplicate this delegate text layer again and just paste this text on this. Now reposition this layer in the left of this boy like this. And now we have this animation. Now what you can do, you can just give a keyframes in the opacity of this solid also. You can come up over here in the 1 second and 24 frame, and from here you can give this opacity keyframes from 0 to 100. And after this you have to select this 2 text layers upon this solid, which is super agents. Now you have to give the keyframes of in the opacity of these layers like this from 0 to 100. Not just 100, one is maybe 70% and other is I think 100. Now you can see it's looking nice. Now you can just readjust these keyframes as you want over here. So we have this animation right now, first frame ready to go.